Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. Like, share, comment. This morning we'll be taking a look at the encouragement of the day. And of course, I'll be using my Crow Tarot, one of my favorite decks that's been so just revolutionary for me. This is by MJ McCullinane. I enjoyed this deck so very much. I may pull a little bit of Oracle. I'm not really feeling Spirit pulling me towards Oracle this morning, but we'll see, okay? Welcome. I hope you guys are well. If you have not taken a chance to look around the page, please do. Lots of things coming, lots of things to take advantage of as well. We're going to take a look this morning at encouragement around this next year coming out. Through that, we're going to actually peek into this year that we're wrapping up here. And then looking into how that transitions over into next year. Okay. And so I hope you guys are all well this morning. It is raining where I am. And so lots of moisture, lots of oxygen in the air. And so beautiful time, to take advantage of nature. Nature is being replenished right now. And so let's jump in. I did lay my cards out for the sake of time. I am working on making these videos shorter so I can just get in, give the information that Spirit is giving, and so that you can move on with your day. But this is the encouragement of the day, taking a look into next year. All right, let's get started. And so as I took a look back at last year, what was last year about? And what came out for me was number one, the Queen of Cups. And then I also took a look at what lessons came with this last year. I got 7 of Cups. So this last year was all about really understanding and learning to care for self. I feel like this last year was definitely one where we tapped into ourselves, for many of us for the very first time, and found ways to get really acquainted with ourselves and understanding and learning about the many aspects of relating to ourselves and tapping into our higher selves and communicating with that and learning to trust and follow and be guided by our inner sense of tuition. Cups can many times be related to the emotions, the heart, our intuitions, our inner knowing, our higher selves. It's all about the inner life. Many times when we're talking about cups, and the Queen of Cups denotes this very loving, intuitive energy that's really gained by experience of life. And it talks about a time of seeking possible healing as well. And so this last year has been all about that. It's been all about this energy manifested within self and, the need to understand what self-love means. I feel like that's what Spirit is pointing to, this energy of pouring and connecting and loving self. It's been all about self-love and the gift of compassion and emotional connectedness with ourselves. And that could also pour outwardly. That could also be directed to others who may be in need in that same way. The 7 of Cups actually points to these lessons that we've learned around choices. The lessons that we've learned around making wise choices and being able to take a deeper look in, right? It's not just about having all of these options and things that we can choose or people that we can choose, but the 7 of Cups is really aligned with soul work, right? It's not about making the choice. It's going even deeper than that. It's lessons around understanding why we are making the choices that we're making. Whether they turn out good, right? Whether they turn out bad, it's understanding the reason behind the choice. There's a deeper look at what's happening during that decision-making process. And so the Seven of Cups really does talk about this dreamy energy, possibly dreams, were in the forefront this year, things that we've desired and things that have possibly had, an opportunity to lead us to experiences of love with cups, experiences of, success and victory. And then on the other hand, some may have led us, depending on the decision, to loss. And it may have led us to deception. The Seven of Cups talks about that too. The Seven of Cups can be it can be a very elusive energy because it depends on what it is that we're focused on, what we're choosing, and what's going on in the background while we're choosing. As you can see, these cups all have different things in them. There's a serpent, right? There's like a bird skull. One is a lotus flower. One is a heart. One is like a black shadowy thing, right? And so the Seven of Cups has been all about choices, right? Those are lessons that we've learned in 2024 because I feel like nowadays, in this particular time, there is so many different options we have. So many different choices of things that we can choose, and we can even bring it down to a very simplistic level, like choosing the type of food we want to eat, right? We can stop anywhere literally to get food, or we could take the time to prepare a home cooked meal or prep, right, for the next week so we're not stuck out in traffic hungry and have to choose something unhealthy, right? Or it could apply to something even more serious like our love life. Millions of people in the world that we could possibly choose from, and possibly having lots of people that lots of opportunities, with people that want to come towards us or offer something, right? It could be something as serious as that, making life choices. Both of those are serious depending on how we're looking at it. Like we could talk about health choices, we could talk about love choices, but this card is really talking about having many options created and possibly even having the burden of choosing and then bearing the weight of that choice. For some, this has been the issue, just having to choose. That has been the issue. And so because we have not wanted to choose, there may have been a fear of making the wrong choice. We stood right in place. We haven't made any gain because we've been afraid to choose the wrong thing, right? But this last year, the lessons around choices, I feel like Spirit is bringing that up. And that has been something that has been weighing in very heavily as we have delved into ourselves and have taken a look at ways that we can cultivate the relationships within ourselves in trust and understanding and connection, self-love, self-trust, right? All of those things have been a topic this last year. And it's all about trusting ourselves to make good decisions. And even when it's not so good, it's trusting the process. Something good can still come out of that. Like, what lessons did we learn when we didn't make the right choice? It still comes back around to us learning about ourselves. And so I feel like there has been lots of lessons around this energy, the Seven of Cups. And this has taught us it has possibly taught us to take a little bit more time. I know it has for me, right? Take a little bit more time to evaluate a situation, the pros and the cons, take a look a little bit more deeply, not just look at things and people from a surface level, because there's always so much more to be seen or understood. And then when it comes to this energy of desire and dreams, also taking a little bit longer to look at that, because sometimes what we're wishing for is not really all that it seems, right? When we look at it realistically, like there's a part of that where we need to face reality with that. I think there was the encouragement yesterday. Spirit was talking about understanding the challenges that come along with the dream, right? There's going to be good parts. There's pros to it, but there's also going to be some cons to it as well. This is part of what has been learned around lessons last year, is understanding the reality of where we're headed, where we are, where we've been, looking at it from all different perspectives as we consider choices. Right now, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And so right now, where we stand before going into this year of 2025, we stand in the Queen of Pentacles energy. The Queen of Pentacles is a very stable. Queen of Pentacles is very secure. Still carrying that very loving energy towards self. But she is actually like the quintessential energy when it comes to nurture, right? And not only for self, but she's like a resource of that energy. And she offers this comfort, from the heart space. And so, but it's to understand that just because she carries this heavy weight of nurturing, not to mistake that for weakness, because she's anything other. I think the Queen of Pentacles is one of the strongest energies when we talk about being able to offer this very masculine energy. She's one of the strong. I think the Queen of Swords is probably the other, and then the Queen of Wands carries a lot of masculine energy too. But the Queen of Pentacles, don't get it twisted, because just because she has this very nurturing energy, that's just who she is. She's also tough, right? She's tough. She's resilient, right? And she knows what it takes, to get the job done. And she's very well able to provide that. And so she does bring this heavy level of security and balance to any situation. And that says that's where we are right now. Like bringing in the energy from the past, we sit in this very balanced place right now. And that's very interesting because Spirit, all of 2024, my lessons, my encouragement, the messages that Spirit has given for me to speak has been about balance. It's been about stability. And I feel like where we are right now, before we transition over into this new year, it's important that we understand the significance of being balanced. And the Queen of Pentacles says that Spirit is verifying that right now we are in a place that's very balanced, very secure. And it's almost like we're ready for anything, right? That may speak to the eagerness of moving into this next year and kind of just putting things in order and being prepared for what is to come. This is a moment to really bask in all that we are enjoying right now. The security and, even when we look at everything that we've been provided, the mercy and the grace, right, that's being offered in this moment. It's a very beautiful moment, it feels to me, very stable and secure and grounded, very focused energy. I also feel a heavy level of self-discipline too, in many different ways. Now, what's important in this moment, what came out was the Eight of Wands. Now, the Eight of Wands is, the wands are movement. The eight is movement, is action as well. And so I feel like this particular moment, what is most important is to move. So that's what Spirit is saying here. What's most important is to move, right? It almost has a sense of something needing to be done before this new year comes in, before this new season comes in, because the bird is flying swiftly through the air. It's almost like there's a sense of urgency. And if it's not urgency, it's a sense of handling business and not playing around, right? Because time is of the essence. And so the Eight of Wands, as it pertains to right now in this moment, is very vital spiritually. And it tells us not to hesitate with the things that need to be done. This is the time to act. That's also something that's been coming out. Move. The time is now. Those are all like key words that I have heard Spirit, continuously saying, like move, act, do, handle business. This is a time to really zone in and focus in on what needs to be done at this time, right? This is also a time to ask, to see the bigger picture. If there's something that we're not understanding, something that you feel is not adding up, ask to see the bigger picture, because there is definitely more. Spirit is saying that there is more. Now, because the energy is moving so quickly, the Eight of Wands is actually very vital. It's, the essential invitation. It's the essential notice to make sure that everything is in order, that everything has been completed, right? Make sure that you have everything on your to-do list marked off from 2024 as you transition over. I feel like that's what Spirit is saying. That's what's important in this moment. Finish things that have been unfinished. Wrap things up. If there's anything that needs to be cut off, right? Cut it off. And Spirit has been telling you to cut it off. It's important to cut those things off so that you can prepare and be ready for what is to come. If there's anything you need to go back and make right, go back and make it right, or finish it, or do it again if it needs to be redone the right way, right? That's what this Eight of Wands is saying. Like, the time is of the essence. It almost means like to wrap things up and get ready to go. It's almost like when you are visiting family for the holidays and you're like, okay, it's time to go, right? The kids are running around enjoying family and cousins. But when they hear that it's time to go, that means it's time to wrap it up, right? So they're running around and they're like, all right, we're about to go, bye. Saying their goodbyes, they're grabbing their clothes, their coats, and putting their shoes on, and they're grabbing to-go plates or whatever it is that they need to get, because they know we're about to transition back into the next moment of time. That means going home, or things are about to change and shift to another direction. It's time to wrap things up. And so as we look into the future, where are we headed right now was what I asked Spirit. And the Eight of Pentacles came out. I'm sorry, not the eight. The Ace of Pentacles came out. I love this because this for me means that there is actually a huge possibility that stands before us. A huge possibility. The Ace of Pentacles is almost like this uncovering If you look at this card, there's clouds that are moving back away from the Ace of Pentacles. So there's this uncovering that's happening here as we move into this next position. Going into 2025 provides a clearer view of all of the abundance that's available to us. I don't know about you, but that is exciting for me. Now, because this desire, right, because it's no longer blocked, now that the clouds have moved away, it's saying it's no longer blocked. Everything that the world has to offer, everything that is available to us materially and spiritually. Okay, we're talking about abundance. Remember, abundance is not just coins and dollars and cars and houses. Abundance is every overflow available emotionally, spiritually, financially too, right? Physically, health-wise, mentally, right? In every way that we're able to exist in the world, there is an overflow of goodness here that's being offered, that's open to us. When it comes to material wealth, when it comes to spiritual knowledge, it's all within our grasp, is what Spirit is saying. It's there if you want it. The Ace of Pentacles really represents this time of clarity and this time of the ability to go in and manifest, to go in and get what it is that we desire. But it's also a time to really get focused if you're not. And if you are, it's a time to stay focused. Because what is in operation right now as we move into 2025 is the law of attraction. It's really heavy and working. And so what that says is that we have to keep our intentions, we have to keep our sight, right? We have to keep everything aligned to make sure that what it is that we're pulling towards us is what we are intending. There was something that I posted in my community page, just I find little things that pique my interest, and I'm like, I like that. And it was a little excerpt about the butterfly effect, right? And for those of you that have watched that movie, The Butterfly Effect, or even have heard of that, it's about pointing to the fact that everything that we have decided, every choice that we've made has led us to this moment in time. Had it been any different, had we made any other choice, even if it was just a small, minute choice, right? Even if we decided instead of going to, McDonald's on July 5th, or this year, 2024, we decide to go to McDonald's instead of going over to, say, Subway, right? That small little minute choice has made a huge shift in the timeline. So the butterfly effects talks about, and for those of you that have watched that movie, you understand, right? How small little choices can make has huge ramifications on how the timeline proceeds forward. And so I saw this little thing. It was a meme, and I posted it in my community page because it poked at me. Spirit was like, that right there, the butterfly effect. And this is what this Ace of Pentacles is bringing up for me. It tells that every little small choice, everything that we choose to focus on, everything that we keep our sight on is what we are pulling towards us. So make sure that our choices, Make sure that our focus and our intentions are aligned with what it is that we want to see in our life, because all of that matters. So as we move towards the future, it's almost like understanding our power and how we are actually creating the life that we're living right now. As we look 10 years back, as I look 10 years back, every choice that I made has led me to this point. And any other choice, I would not be here. And Spirit is saying that you have the opportunity moving forward to actually consciously create. If you hear what I'm saying. If you know, you know. Right? But that is the power that 2025 is awakening in us and is placing well within our hands to utilize. And any advice that came in through the tower. And before you jump off ship, right, the tower is not always bad. The tower gets a bad rap, but the tower is actually a very significant part of the journey, okay? Even though it brings in energy, as we could see, the tower is falling down. It's the energy of drastic change, first and foremost, of upheaval, of catastrophe. That's why many, despise the tower. It's a fire element, but what the tower represents, and we're asking Spirit for advice here. And so what Spirit is saying is that this is going to be a time in 2025 where we will need to be ready for anything, first of all. Sudden change, be ready for anything. It's also going to be very significant. It's going to be a time where I believe things that have long stood is going to be torn down. And it could be very well things that have proven to no longer work. Could be systems. It could be, policies, things to do with government. It could be structures, right? It could be belief systems, the way that we have believed that things are. I feel like during the 2025, even as we have seen in 2024, a lot of things have been unveiled, and it's going to be more of that. And along with that unveiling, along with that truth being revealed, especially when we're looking at these clouds being pulled back, it's almost like the curtains being pulled back. And partly that is also because of this energy of information being readily available. Like you can't hide anything nowadays. And a lot of things that have been suppressed, a lot of information and truth and history is now being resurrected. It's being brought to light, right? And with that is a change in system, a change in how we truly, truly understand and see things. And so the advice coming in with the tower, it actually comes in with a warning for us to not get too comfortable or complacent. And even as we move into these very beautiful spaces, and for many of us, 2025 is going to hold a time of, just as I said, being able to go after whatever it is that you desire. It's a time of a heavy energy of the law of attraction now that we're understanding more about what that means. But don't get it twisted, Spirit is saying here. Just as fast and as easily as you pull those things in, the tower is saying it could be whisked away just that fast. So make sure that what it is that we're building it on a solid foundation is what the tower says. Because many times the tower comes in and it brings upheaval, it brings catastrophe. But for things that were built on solid foundations, those things don't get shaken down. Everything around them gets shaken down and removed and falls away, but the solid foundations, they stand the test of time. And so this is a warning to make sure that we're building firmly and securely. Make sure that we're not building on shaky ground or sinking sand. I'm hearing that as well. This is a time to mentally really prepare ourselves for constant change this next year. I don't think anything is going to provide this next year this sense of stability. That is going to be something that we will need to provide within ourselves, to the point where it could be like all hell breaking loose around us, but because we are firmly rooted and grounded spiritually, it has little effect on us, because that is not where our hope, that's not where our trust is. It's built within on a spiritual foundation, not a physical foundation. I think it's understanding that the things that manifest in the physical is really as a result of what's already manifested spiritually, right? As above, so below, as it is in heaven, so it is on earth. And even when there is the storm that happens within the physical, if the spiritual is solid and secure, it has little ramifications, because we understand, well, we manifested it once, we built it once, maybe it wasn't built the correct way, right? We know that we can build it again. It's the understanding you could take everything away from me and I'll just go and get it again. I'll just go and build it again, because I know, right, the source that lies within. I know the power that I hold within. It's that kind of energy that Spirit is guiding us to stand in for 2025. And I feel like there's going to be some things that happen that may not even be noticed. Spirit is saying, notice, keep your eyes open. And I'm not talking about these eyes. I'm talking about keep your eye open, your spiritual eye. Because there's going to be a lot of things that happen this next year that people won't even notice because they're asleep, or they're refusing to really acknowledge that things are in fact changing. There will be things that will possibly shake our ground, like I said, but how will we manage those things? Will we be able to endure these things? Well, if we are rooted and grounded, if we're secure spiritually, if we're balanced, then we'll be able to manage it. But whatever this is coming in 2025, Spirit says to be ready, because it's change. A lot. Major change coming. And whatever this is, it's going to spark something within us as a whole that's going to challenge us and cause us to move to a different place. And I feel like that's spiritually. I really do. But individually, how that happens, how the pieces fall, will be essentially up to us. So Spirit is basically saying, be ready. Be ready for anything, because there's a lot of change coming in. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Swords, which further verifies what I just said. Moving away. We'll be moving away from a lot of old things, a lot of things that possibly have stood in the way of progression and evolution. I think there's a lot of spiritual, we're being called to evolve spiritually. And there's been a lot of things that stood in the way of that. Well, there's going to be a shift away from those things in 2025. That's what we've been being prepared for through this process here as we've moved from 2024 shifting over into 2025. Okay. And so, yeah, take that personally, take it collectively, just take it. Okay. That's what Spirit is saying. So be ready. Thank you so much for stopping by. It has been Blood Moon Oracle coming in with the encouragement of today as we take a look, as we shift into 2025, okay? Thank you so much for stopping by. It has been a pleasure. It always is. Like, share, comment. If you are looking for a personal read, I am open. You can email me if you have questions. I'd love to answer or talk to you. Hit me up in my email. You can also go over to my calendar, see what type of services I offer. I'd be more than happy to talk with you, okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Until next time, take a look at this video. I'm going to post a video up here. If you like this one, you may in fact like that one too. So take a look, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.